You know what? Fuck that. I'm doing my own thing.
All right, looks like it worked.
You
Just
know what? Fuck that. I'm doing my own thing.
cool. Hello, everybody. Not that there's anybody here. Hello. Welcome to Dangerously Dicey. I'm Christopher, the Dungeon Master, and today I will be doing a little bit of DM prep for our next Dangerously Dicey's next show, which is X-Wing Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden, which will be premiering first episode. We'll be live this Sunday, January 17th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today I will be going over some of the stuff I have prepared, and just gonna zoom in here. Yep, like always, my players graffiti everything, just everything. We have some temporary character art. You know, had to snag some temporary tokens. But today we are going to be going over a little bit of the stuff we got. First bit is well, I didn't create these. I found them and I feel that they're going to work the best with my party. It is the Consent Flower and X card. The X card is the simplest safety tool and also easiest to implement. A card with a large X is placed on the table. Anyone can reach it. If anyone feels uncomfortable simply touching the card. Well, my players merely have to click on this deck, hit choose, then they can drag out the X card or one of the 3 consent flowers, which are the colors are what is important, but it's a green flower to request that a scene gets pushed further or harder to give consent on a scene that might push some boundaries, but this is the players telling me that yes, I should keep going. Yellow card, yellow flower is everybody's comfortable. The player is comfortable with the scene where it is and its current intensity. Red is backpedal. It should be pulled back immediately and the intensity lowered. And the X card is stop. It is my job and other players' jobs to notice it and then immediately skip over what's happening, like, or retcon or change it. Go over everything and change it. This works best when combined with our other safety tool, which is lines and veils. which have hard lines I won't cross. Sexual violence, harm against children in this campaign. There's one campaign that's even darker than this one that's kind of a main theme of it. At least it was in the original book. It might be not so much in the reprint, so we'll see. I do not like racial discrimination. I try my hardest to avoid doing that. If somebody's being discriminated against, it's more along the lines of classist. And I'm not saying somebody that's close that off. Damn it. There. Sorry. I would more along the lines of elitist, those that think they're better than others because of wealth and power. They'll discriminate on people they deem lesser than them, not because of race, gender, sexual identity, but because they view them as not a caste. It's not a caste system. They view them as poor. I'm under one of those assumptions of eat the rich. But then again, I'm just an awful human being. Don't worry about it. I do not deal with torture or slavery. There are certain races that are deemed definitely slavers. Drugar, Drow, I think Darrow might be. I know those two for sure are slavers, but not sure which other ones are. Not off the top of my head. Those races may or may not make an appearance in the games that I'm running. I try to steer clear of the slavery issue. If they do have servants, it's under the indentured servant style, where they can earn their freedom. They're more along the lines of not property, but they owe some form of extreme debt to the house that supports them. And I have a veil in all my games for consensual romantic relationships. Cool. I love it. That's great roleplay that you want to have a romantic love interest. Sorry, I'm not going to roleplay it. I'm not that kind of guy. I do fade to blacks, drop curtain, scene change, rapid scene change, like, and how about you, and whatnot. So I try not to stay in those romantic scenes very often. But that's our safety systems. It's just 2 quick systems, and my players are more than they have access to this. They can edit these at any given time, and if stuff comes up in game that makes them uncomfortable, they are more than more than welcome to go and change it or add things to put on my list of watch outs. So we're trying. Sorry, just had to post that real quick. But I thought, easy things that we can go about doing. I'm not a big I don't feel I might not be the best at this, but I want to make my games a safe place for my players, but I also want to show them what we can and cannot do, and I want it to be a fun place. That's why I do this. I just want to make people happy, and my players are going to be I'm just going to go to the character sheets. We've got Eidos Starridge, cousin, I believe. Cousin to Merster Starridge from our Yeah, no, you probably shouldn't be here. Mercer Starridge is our cleric and cousin to Eidos is our cousin to Mercer Starridge, who is played by the same exact person in our opposite week Dungeon of the Mad Mage game. Winterfolk halfling. Eidos is a cleric and a guild artisan, Scrimshander. And he is Twilight Domain, because at first level clerics get to pick. He chose Twilight Domain, so it's going to be really interesting. I feel like his stuff isn't quite up to date, but I'm not gonna fight him on it. Yes, hello to you too, and okay, love you too, bye. But his character is pretty simple and straightforward. It's got some interesting things that'll come up later in game, hopefully. This game has things called secrets, which we character secrets. There's some really interesting ones, like Midwinter Child, Oral the Frostmaiden, which is this lovely woman back here. The Goddess of Winter's Wrath, I believe is her official title. The Frostmaiden. The Eternal Rime. She's got a couple titles. People can have these. Like, you could be a doppelganger. You could be reincarnated. This one's the most screwed up. You could have a red salad implanted in your stomach. That's just wrong. That gives you like 2 months from start of campaign. From that event, you have 2 months to live. I know campaigns that take in all honesty, after like a week, they're already like 4th or 5th level. So this would make sense. But this game is all about trekking, making these journeys from city to city, which aren't far, but it it can be bad. So my player's got a few different ones, but his secrets, their secrets, they'll come out eventually. Excuse me. They'll come out eventually. Then we've got Lagertha. Lagertha is a druid and an outlander from the Reged tribes. So's Eidos. He's a member of the Salmon tribe as a nod to Merster. But Lagertha is a polar bearkin and is a druid. They are also a member of the Salmon tribe, and they are working on their secret issues and stuff. They are friends. They know Eidos. Eidos is evidently our story linchpin currently. But Lagertha is going to be really interesting to see. Then we've got Lagertha's best friend, Sickle, a Lethari elf, urban bounty hunter, but also a member of the tribes. Former wolf member of the wolf tribe, a current kind of adopted member of the Salmon tribe, but is a very interesting character for the fact that, yes, if you can read that line in their personality traits, that's very accurate. That's their secret. But they are a bounty hunter. They hunt down any renegades for the tribe. And technically they can do renegade hunting for other tribes if the tribe wants to purchase their services, which is good. We'll hopefully see that in the story. We might not, but we'll come to it later. But Sickle also knows Eidos, is best friends with Lagertha, and a third member, which is not a party member, but is a gladiator, I believe. Yes, a sworn ally of Lagertha and Sickle is a gladiator that lives somewhere in Icewind Dale. We haven't quite gotten all the specialist special information like, hey, who this person is. There's a big one I need from Eidos, but Eidos never got around to telling me. But then we're going to sorry, had to take a moment there to think. Our fourth member. I'm going to skip over our fourth listed and go to Zodag, Varoth, Ifan, Solvigsdottir. I'm going to have to record that. Take a couple tries and record it. This is a Scrimshander as well, but a half-orc monk. I think I already know which way this monk build is going to go, but they live in the same city and are guild members with Eidos. So they know Eidos and can spend a fair amount of time working with them. So Sickle and Lagratha know Eidos. Zodag knows Eidos. And Zodag's got his own personal kind of baggage. He's got a lot to deal with outside. He doesn't really have an order, per se. His martial arts, and since there is no order out here that would teach him his subclass, it would be more along the lines of him kind of just experiencing an epiphany, I'm gonna guess. But again, there's a lot of stuff we all haven't talked about because they don't always, send me information. But our final character is Swift. I'm only calling them Swift. Only ever. They are not a standard tiefling. They are a Hellfire tiefling. One of the variants. They are a sorcerer and a charlatan. But they are an Ashen lineage sorcerer, which comes from a very special book. Third-party book. The Compendium of Forgotten Secrets, Awakening. Very good book. I recommend it if you get a chance. It basically gives them a more fire-based lineage. Not like draconic and then just taking like red dragon patron or gold or shit. I know there's another one. Instead of taking draconic bloodline, they could do a much more dark bloodline, which fit in with them wanting to be a Hellfire tiefling. So, as a tiefling and as a sorcerer of this particular bloodline, they are able to thematically, it all kind of ties together, and it's going to be lovely to see this new character. This is a new player for my entire group, a younger sibling to one of my coworkers who has started making friends amongst the group, and it's going to be really interesting to see how well they do. The characters have a lot of interesting little tidbits, but Swift is a new addition to Icewind Dale. Swift just left Luskin, having paid their debt to the roving circus that had just stopped in Luskin to do a couple shows, as it were. But they're currently stationed. The circus is stationed outside of Luskin, and they're doing refuels and something else. The owners are filling in and helping around that town. But Swift was able to pay off their debt, but needs to make a fair amount of money quickly so that they can pay off someone else's debt. Because someone else they care about is currently working off a much larger debt than they had. They had maybe 50 gold worth. This one's well over 10 times that amount. So, what's the fastest way to get coin? Adventuring. Non-alcoholic, by the way. Though I don't think anyone's even here to care. Oh, and I gave inspiration to Swift because of the renaming one of their features to Born November 2 Hellish Boogaloo. I just saw that cracked up, and I have a very simple rule that kind of spans all games, but I don't talk about it much, is if you can make me genuinely laugh, you get inspiration. But if I talk to my players about that, they constantly crack jokes and try so hard to make me laugh, it just detracts from the game. So adding little jokes here and there is best way to get me to laugh. But Swift, having come from Luskin, made their way along the 10 Towns Trail. Whoop, wrong room. Nope, that's the east way. Luskin is down here, past the ice flow. So Swift had to come up the northern means, probably hitched a ride with a buggy, and as they like a caravan, and as they passed over the spine of the mountain, or the spine of the world, everything changed. As they crested the hill, as they crested the peak, the sun set. But 10 feet further down, 10 feet in the opposite direction, the sun was high in the sky. But as they crested that peak of the mountain, obviously it's not the peak, but it's a pass. As they passed over the halfway point of the mountain, the sun set and never rose again. The night, the sky in general, is filled of darkness and stars, and the northern lights, aka Aurora Borealis, just cover the sky. And our sorcerer made their way into Hundlestone and quickly was sent on a, hey, if you want to adventure and you want to make coin, you better go to Bryn Shander. It's the biggest town in the area. It's a city with like 1,200 people. It's your best bet at finding work and fast paying work. So they did. They went on their way and they worked very hard to get there. As an individual that's naturally acclimated to warm weather, with an internal body temperature much higher than most people's, the shock of winter in spring hurt. Well, actually, I think it's actually midsummer right now. It's midsummer, not spring, if I remember correctly. And everybody's working, but it's midsummer everywhere else in the world. But in the Dale, it's the dead of winter constantly, and it is the dead of night constantly, because our lovely lady Oral the Frostmaiden has cursed the world, or at least the Dale, to be in never-ending winter nights. And it's intense. And our little our tiefling friend barely survived making it to Bryn Shander. And when they did, our Cleric of Twilight, Edo Starridge, happened upon them. Said, oh, well, nope, you're coming with me. And Eidos brought Swift into their home. Fed them, gave them warm clothes, and decided to help them out. They've been in town maybe a week by the time this campaign starts. And when the campaign does start, it'll be interesting. But the town they made it into wasn't Bryn Shander. Eidos is from Tourmaline, but Eidos was in Bryn Shander when Swift arrived, and quickly said, "Okay, nope, let's get you someplace warm, get you in something warmer, and get you fed." So Eidos brought Swift from Bryn Shander up the east way, going west by northwest, to the crossroads of Targos to Tourmaline, and went up to Tourmaline, where they live. City map. In Tourmaline, it's a picturesque town. There is a inn, a tavern, a guild hall for scrimshanders, and the town hall. But also two homes. A home for Eidos and a home for Zodag, which is one of these two places, as I currently cannot remember if Zodag is yellow or if Eidos is yellow. I believe Zodag is yellow, to be honest. And there is a church of Yandala down towards the southeastern edge. And the party gets to start here, which is going to immediately lead us into a few interesting little plot hooks and starting quests. The first starting quest being Nature Spirits. It's a quest that can happen in any of the towns, but it is designed to be a low-level quest to help the players gain some experience, get a cool magical trinket, and to see the good side of the deal, because this game is portrayed as a survival horror game. Cool. Survival horror. I can do that. I'm the biggest wimp when it comes to horror. But there is a young spellcaster who's new to town named Danica Grayseal, half-elf spellcaster that wants to study these interesting elemental creatures called Chwingas. Personally, I love them. So, ooh, sorry, cracked my neck. This is supposed to be a cute, easy, non-really threatening quest, which is great. It's a low-level quest. But the other quest that appears in Tourmaline is a beautiful mine. Oh, and sacrifices to Oral is a thing that we all have to be worried about in 10 Towns. Which is, since about a year or so ago, the speakers of the 10 Towns decided that they would need to sacrifice things to appease Oral the Frostmaiden so that she would lessen the eternal winter, but at the very least not make it any worse. So they sacrifice warmth or food or people. But the people is dodgy at best. This campaign, this quest, is the one we are more concerned with. It's a beautiful mine. It has its own map, and it's all about clearing a mine, the local mine, which mines Tourmaline in. Speaking with Nerith, the speaker, to go and sorry, wrong speaker. The town speaker, Oris Masthew, which is a friend and colleague of both Zodag and Eidos. They'll need to speak with they'll need to talk with Oris to get this quest, which is going into the mine and clearing it of monsters that have seemingly come up from the Underdark, because it is a deep mine. Makes sense. Inside it is a bunch of kobolds and some other interesting little Underdarky monsters, which is already prepped and ready to go. The only issue is I'm going to have to just do the character light conversions and everything real quick. And there's not really much I have to prepare for this upcoming week because, well, I've already done it. I've literally been working on this for quite a while. Since I announced prior to Christmas, the Sunday before Christmas, that we would be starting a new show, but also we were going to be reducing the other show's time frame and starting up a new one in its off days. I've been working on this, and I've been talking to other players, and getting the broad strokes done, but hey, you don't always get everything done. But I'm looking forward to this. We're going to see where things are. There are some interesting things that people technically should have access to. Handouts mostly that I forget to give people. But we'll see how it goes. So also, you can also buy Axe Beaks, which is really cool. I have some interesting things planned for this show. However, I don't know how long it's going to take to get anywhere. But let me just double check something. Once they're done with the tourmaline, the quest line for tourmaline, there's an item in the gem mine that can lead them to another quest, or they might not even find that item. And if they don't find that item, cool, I can totally ignore that plot line because it's not needed for, as having read through half the book already, it's not needed at all. There are certain chapters of this game that you need to pay attention to. The first one is the starting quests. You have to do 2 starting quests to get to level 2, and I believe you have to do 3 starting quests to get to level 3, which means you have to help actually, I don't know, is that right? Running chapter 1. Each town has their own specific quest, which they can technically go and do in other chapters. It's just there are harder things. Rumors lead to is stuff that happens. Oh, here's the character advancement that I got wrong. Characters advance to 2nd level after completing their first quest. So completing the mine will get them to level 2, or completing the nature spirits will get them to level 2. They have to complete 3 quests to level 3. They have to complete 3 quests to get to level 3, and then after completing 5 quests, they get level 4. However, once they do that, once they hit level 4, they can no longer gain levels by helping out, by completing quests from chapter 1. However, it does increase their reputation in 10 towns. And they can get, the money and item rewards. Once they hit level 4, they can access what is in chapter 2. Chapter 2 being the strange things that are outside, that are in the fringes of Icewind Dale. The 10 Town Rumors that appears in Tall Tales of 10 Towns. In this campaign, there are a few of these that I feel are where I'm going to have to connect the campaign. I'm going to have to probably connect the campaign in the Dark Duchess, the Ragged Tribes, and Revel's End will probably be a quest I have to set up. I have an idea of where my players are gonna go. Like since they get to do 5 quests, not including the starter the 2 bonus quests, which is Nature Spirits and Cold Hearted Killer. Both of those quests are you're gonna have to do because it shows both the best and worst of Icewind Dale. And they're going to start with the best, and they're definitely going to finish the worst. they will complete it before they hit level 4. But odds are they're going to do something along the lines of a beautiful mine, probably white moose, hopefully black swords, and probably the unseen. That's 1, 2, 3. Probably gonna have them do toil and trouble. Then white moose and beautiful mind would put it at 5, and then the 2 bonus quests, which then would lead them. Link-wise, I think I'm thinking Anjuk's Bell, Id Ascendant, if they get the specific item from Tourmaline, we'll give them that. They might do the Lost Spire of Netheril on their way to find something else. They'll probably end up doing places of interest. Probably on their way to Cackling Chasm or Cave of Berserkers, which is something they'll probably have to do. They're going to most likely find the Lost Spire of Netheril, which is going to give them. They're going to end up doing that one. They'll probably do Lost Spire, Cave of Berserkers, Anjuk's Bell, maybe Dark Duchess, or Id Ascendant and Karkalok, which are all interesting little side bits. But their main thing is once they get from here, they're going to have to find. Oh, Wolf Tribe Cannibals is one that they have to do. We'll see how it goes. I have some ideas. I might rework some of these ties to get them to go a better way. But once they pass that, they will then have to deal with Chapter 3, which, wait, hold on. When do they level up? Character advancement. In this chapter, you decide how quickly the characters advance in level. Treat the following as recommendations. After 2 or 3 game sessions of exploring the Dale, they can level up. They gain a level by neutralizing the 3 threats in 2 or 3 of the dangerous locales. Neutralizing, actually destroying them. They, like, actually stopping them. But it does lead here. It says, if you stop the feud between Goliath clans, you survive, or you get a level up, or if you survive Eviterace, the white worm, a massive white dragon of ancient caliber. They are terrifying. However, white dragons are the... I believe it's statistically weakest of all dragons. Except for the steel dragon, I feel like. But that's in Mad Mage. She's also extremely old and extremely powerful, and technically can be a friend. But they only get the ability to level up to 5th, 6th, and 7th. Once they hit 7th level, they can no longer gain levels in this game. However, that immediately starts them on exploring and surviving these areas, and random encounters no longer allow them to level up. However, they can still earn loot and other such things. But when they hit 7th level, there's going to be a kind of strange plot that's going to happen. There are two patterns going forward. Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 are about Duergar, a race of people, of deep dwarves. And there's a few little, like, I think 3 of the towns you can possibly run into them, but there's only a small chance. So this one kind of comes out of nowhere, and I gotta figure out how to work that in. But I already have the best way to work in any campaign I've ever had. I have a single character that knows all 4 other characters and has a reason to adventure, to which he has the ability to ask the others to adventure with him because he needs their help. Because they are all supposed to be a part of this event that he needs to happen. Eidos Starridge is getting married. But as a cleric of Twilight, Eidos cannot get married during the never-ending Rime. He must break the curse so that he can finally marry his beloved future wife. There's no one over there. I don't know why I looked over there, but I did. His whole goal is to be able to get married at Twilight to his betrothed. And he's going to cash in any and all favors he has with the other players, their characters, because he knows them. And he's been good to them. Hey, and maybe it'll help Swift with earning enough money to pay a debt. Maybe Lagertha will be able to get away from their family and kind of learn what it's like to be a druid in a place where the natural order of things is being disrupted. maybe Sickle will be able to figure out what really happened to them. Maybe Zodag will have chance at revenge for some pressing issue. But who knows? The story hasn't even begun yet, and I cannot wait for it to start. But I don't have much more to go on, and I do not have a co-host with me tonight. So I will be cutting this now. I thank you all for watching. I believe there was only one. There were two in chat. One of the players, and I know they're not actually talking in chat, but I can see them. The elder sister of our new player Swift. So I would just like to say thank you for watching, and I look forward to this game, and I hope this brings you all as much joy as it brings me. And we'll see you next time. I really got to work on a better outro. See you next roll. I think that actually is our outro. But have a good night, everybody.